Okay, good evening, everybody. I hope you're all fine. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Can you all see my screen? Just give me quick responses. Yes, no? Okay, I'm not getting any response with regard to this, so I'll better start with the session. So, as always, I since this series is all about important legal updates for your law entrance examinations, right? And you must have gotten all your good news per se, not good news because you have still boards coming up, but good news with respect to the burden of managing both boards and uh, uh, your law entrance examinations are concerned. So far as such exams and such balance, such strategies and plans that we were talking about in our previous sessions, in webinars and seminars, now at least you're relieved by that, right? Finally, so. I hope you're all ready with your plans and strategies for your examination. So, this series, as always, as I've told you before, this series is all about legal updates. Okay, we are only going to talk about legal updates here. You must be reading about GK, you must be reading about general knowledge, general awareness, and all of those news monthons. But a lot of times you tend to miss certain important legal updates. Yeah. And legal updates are not only important with respect to the legal knowledge perspective. Okay, but it is also important for the legal reasoning perspective. Why am I saying so? Because it gives you a lot of important stories that are going around, right? Stories as in stories with regard to the legal updates that are going around, right? And on the basis of these news itself, you may get any passage anytime. So once you are well aware of all what is happening, all the legal developments that are happening around you, it will be easier for you to comprehend with the passage that is given to you, right? And then you'll be able to tackle the questions in a better way, rather than being completely unaware of the topic. Okay, so I can see that a lot of you have already joined. I can see. So let's start with today's session. Today's set of important like legal update. It basically starts from the initiative, the digital initiative. If you remember, in our previous session, we spoke about digital initiative in Odisha High Court. Yes, if you all remember, we spoke about we learned about Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, right? Now, again, he was again inaugurated. I mean, called for inauguration of the digital initiatives that was taken by Gujarat High Court. Okay, so what is the initiative? There are two initiatives here. Like it is quite similar to what was initiated in Odisha High Court with regard to the electronic payment of the fees, of the court fee. Okay, so basically you pay it online. Okay, electronically, you get the PDF, you submit that receipt of the PDF in the receipt of the payment in PDF format, and it's all done. And there is second initiative with regard to the justice clock. Okay, if you would have visited Delhi High Court or Supreme Court or Mumbai High Court, you would have seen, or maybe if you wouldn't, if you have not visited, that's not a problem, because once you get to the law college, you may get a chance to visit, right? So you must have seen a board. Okay, so there is this justice clock, we call it justice clock, wherein there are a lot of statistical data that is mentioned. Okay, so they keep updating with regard to how many cases are being pending, how many cases are disposed today, so age groups and all of that. There are a lot of data that they keep showing. So that is what is being instituted in Gujarat High Court also. Okay, so this basically shows what, that our judicial system, they are getting techno savvy, right? They are developing themselves to be digitally active, to be technologically sound. Correct. Now, last time I forgot to tell you one thing about Justice D.Y. Chandrachud that can be important for you. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud is being considered for the new appointment in the International Court of Justice. Okay. For now, can someone tell me who is the Indian judge who is appointed in International Court of Justice (ICJ), and where is its headquarter? Where is the headquarter of ICJ? Okay, that's a homework then. Okay, and Justice Dalveer Bhandari. Okay, he has been quite in the news recently. You must have heard about him. You must have read about him in the Hindu newspaper, the Indian Express, and all of that. If you're following it regularly, so it's Justice Dalveer Bhandari right now, and we were sort of considering Justice D.Y. Chandrachud as well. Okay, for the appointment when the term period of Justice Dalveer Bhandari ends. All right. So in it's about International Court of Justice, wherein the term period for every judge is for 9 years. Okay, and did somebody Hague? Good job. Yes. The So ICJ is situated in Hague, Netherlands. All right. So yeah. So this was about one of the digital initiatives by one of the high courts. Moving on to the next one. Okay, so we must have heard a lot about the expenditure, right? Expenditure that is being made by election candidates in every elections, right? धुआंधार पैसे उड़ाते हैं, धुआंधार पैसे खर्च करते हैं. There are a lot of, and because of that, a lot of complaints are being raised, a lot of issues are being raised in several high courts and Supreme Court. Now, with regard to that, there is this step that is being taken by the Election Commission, wherein this amendment has been done in the Act itself. Okay, and what is the Act that talks about the expenditure limit and all? It's Representative of People's Act. Okay, now what have they done? Election Commission has actually raised the expenditure limit. Now, with regard to the section 77 of the Act, it basically says that every candidate who is contesting for the election, they need to disclose the amount of expenditure that is being done for their propagation or for any purpose with regard to election. Okay, they need to disclose it in the exact, precise, correct manner. Okay, वो उनको करना ही है, and that too in a separate form, not collectively, but you have to divide it separately as to where did you spend how much, and then you need to report. You give a report about that to the commission. Okay, now just in case if you, later on it is found that you gave some wrong information or you did not give it at all, in that case it can also amount to the disqualification of your membership. Okay, disqualification of your candidacy as actually. All right. Now, this shows how important it is to stay in the boundaries or stay in the limits of the expenditure that is being fixed by the Election Commission. So that is what is raised now. Okay. Now, how much is it raised? You can see it on the screen. Now, it's not actually very fixed. Okay. So as you can see, it's the range, right? From this particular amount to this particular amount, you can actually spend in a particular election. Now, it actually depends on the state. All right. For example, as you can see on the screen, in Uttar Pradesh, in Uttarakhand, in Punjab, these are all larger states, right? So there the expenditure limit would be up till 40 lakhs rupees. Okay. But when we talk about states like Goa, states like Manipur, there the expenditure can be up till 28 lakh rupees. So all of this is being fixed by the Election Commission. All right. Uh, so basically, what all are the important points here? It's Election Commission. It's representative of People's Act. It's about the expenditure limit. Okay, disqualification and the mandate of submitting such information. Okay, all of these are the important information here. Moving on to, okay, one of the most controversial area that we have in our country, territory, I would say. One is Jammu and Kashmir, and the other one is Ladakh, right? Now, there is this new development that we can see with regard to Ladakh, wherein Ladakh is now demanding to be included under Schedule 6. If you have been preparing for legal GK, I am sure you would have learned what is it that is included in Schedule 6, right? Now, previously, Ladakh demanded to be a UT, Union Territory. Now they are demanding to be included in under sixth schedule. Now, what does sixth schedule actually talk about? Okay, they basically, on the very surface of it, they talk about the administration of the tribal areas. So Ladakh is an area wherein there are a lot of tribal groups that stays together, they live together. Okay, now what happens, Schedule 6 actually lays down, they talk about the autonomous development councils that are being established, that are being constituted for such areas. All right, such specific areas that is being included in under Schedule 6. Like for example, we have other councils as well in Assam, in Meghalaya, in Tripura, in Mizoram. All in all these states, we have such councils. All right. Now, what happens? On the base, it's actually the job of governor. Okay, it is the governor who decides how these councils are to be constituted. Now what happens, suppose there's this UT Ladakh, there are suppose 10 kinds of tribal groups. Okay, now governor will appoint regional councils on the basis of the tribal groups that they have. All right. Now, why is it important? You may ask कि पहले तो यूटी यूटी कर रहे थे, यूनियन टेरिटरी चाहिए, अभी Schedule 6 भी चाहिए, क्यों चाहिए? Right? That might be a question. It is because under Schedule 6, a lot of power or a lot of responsibility, ownership is being given to these council itself. Okay, so there would be a council who will be looking after a particular area, having a particular tribal group, and they will be taking care of all the laws that are being made with regard to their water, with regard to their canals, with regard to their land, their custom, and everything. Okay, so basically, they have their own power, pass me, yeah. So just to keep their such power, such control over their land intact, that is why Ladakh is being has been asking for such uh, demand. And so basically, they are demanding this. Okay, inclusion under sixth schedule of constitution. Now, जब लद्दाख की बात आती है, वहीं पे लगे हाथ हम लोग जम्मू कश्मीर की भी बात कर लेते हैं. So there is this Jammu and Kashmir Delimitation Commission that has been constituted, which is headed by a retired Supreme Court judge. His name is Ranjana Prakash Desai. Now, as per the commission's recommendation, what has happened now, it's a very interesting thing that the number of seats that Jammu Kashmir had, previously it was 83, now it has been raised to 90. But this does not include 24 other seats that is being reserved for POK areas. Okay, so there is this POK, right? Pakistan occupied Kashmir. उस एरिया के लिए we keep 24 seats reserved, okay, and we keep them vacant in the assembly. वो हमें पता है कि वो हमारा है. So basically it's just a kind of control that we have, or particularly we cannot conduct an election, but still we have it in our system. This is a way to express that. Yeah, so we have 24 seats reserved for the area of POK, and we keep it vacant. Now, this is what is being proposed. I mean, the number of seats has been increased as per the proposal of Jammu and Kashmir Delimitation Commission. Now, when we talk about Delimitation Commission, they are actually one of the most powerful commissions that we have. Okay, apart from obviously the constitution, all the commissions that are being instituted as per constitution and major statutes, apart from that, I'm talking about. All right. Why am I saying so? Because once the Delimitation Commission, they decide or they take any decision, that has a force of law. All right. You cannot go and challenge it in the court of law. All right. So that is why it becomes very important. And that is why it is said that once the Delimitation Commission decides something, it is considered to be law. Now, who all sit in Delimitation Commission? There are 3 members particularly. One would be any retired judge or maybe serving judge. Second one would be Chief Election Commissioner. Okay, agar Chief Election Commissioner cannot join, in that case there would be one Election Commissioner who would be appointed or suggested by he shall be taken, or he shall be a part of delimitation commission only on the recommendation of chief election commissioner. Okay, so retired judge or serving judge, uh, uh, chief election commission, and state election commissioner. Okay, so these are the three members of delimitation commissioner. And how are they instituted? They are instituted as per the constitution, okay, under article 82. All right, so this was about Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir. Moving on to private members bill. Now this has been quite in a talk recently. Why? Because there are a lot of controversial topics and issues that are being raised by private members in parliament since last few months, if you would see. Now what is that, right? When we talk about private members basically refer to those people who are not members, or who are not a member of parliament, or who are not ministers, or who basically don't belong to any particular party, who stand independently. Okay, now when such private member come to the parliament, or they basically introduce a bill, okay, they are the one who is introducing the bill in any house. Okay, that is what is called as private members bill. Now the irony here is, or the very interesting fact here is, that since 1970 till today, there has not been even a single private member bill that has turned out to be a law. Okay, bill का क्या होता है? Bill becomes law, right? Once it is approved by both the houses, and they get the assent from the president and all of that, the entire procedure happens and then they become law. But private members bill में अभी तक, since 1970, it has not been seen that any bill has uh, turned into a law. Okay, now how does it happen? Pri- there are two types of bills: private members bill, other one is government bill. Okay, now with regard to government bill, it can be introduced anytime by members of parliament, right? They can do that, and they need not give any notice as such. But when we talk about private members bill, they can introduce and discuss the bill, I mean their bill, only on Fridays. Okay, and they can do it individually. And not only that, their bills are actually gone they are actually subjected to a lot of scrutinization when it comes to its compliances with the constitutional provisions. Okay, whether they are complying to it, I mean ensuring that it is not violative of any constitutional provisions. All right, not only that, they need to give 1 month's notice also. अगर बिल दे रहे हैं तो एक महीने पहले I need to give a notice to the concerned person. Why? That just to tell the person that I am going to list this bill in the parliament, okay, or in the house. I'm going to do this. Now, kindly go through the particulars of this bill and raise your voice or whatever it is. Okay, so वो एक महीना क्यों होता है? Only to ensure that the committee or the concerned people, okay, all of them get to check the constitutional validity of the bill. Okay, now this much scrutiny doesn't happen when it comes to the government's bill. All right, moving on to the next one. Okay, now there is this interesting right to privacy related issue that has been raised. I mean, a few months back. Now there is this huge controversy that was going around voter ID and Aadhaar cards link. Right now, this bill was introduced last year, wherein it was said that such linking, okay, though okay, it's fine that if you are proposing to link it, but such linking should be voluntary in nature. It should be optional, it should not be mandatory. मुझे चाहिए कि मैं करूँ लिंक तो ही मैं करूँ, मुझे कोई फोर्स नहीं कर सकता. All right, to link. So that is one of the recommendation that has come, that major recommendation that you can see in the bill. Second one is that, see, when are you issued voter ID? When you turn 18, correct? Now the bill says mostly when is it, there would be one date that would be given to you whenever it is said that, suppose whether you have turned 18 or not, there would be one date for reference, whether on this date you turned 18 or not. Now bill is saying that we are going to give you 4 qualifying dates. Okay, so you can choose any of them. जिस भी दिन आप 18 के हो जाते हो, go and get your voter ID and get it linked with your Aadhaar card. All right. So this is what the entire bill talks about. And one of the beautiful part here is that the bill also talks about gender neutral language. Okay. So from now onwards, they are not going to give a particular for wife's name. Okay. Like for example, your name and wife's name. Mostly this is how these forms have their particulars, but now they are going to change it. They are going to write spouse so that it is all gender neutral. And apart from this, there are other steps are also, I mean, being taken to keep it gender neutral as such. All right. So this was it for today's session. If you have any questions, please let me know. Yeah, so we'll take questions for like 10 minutes. Do you have any questions? What strategy should we follow for legal passage? Okay. For legal passage, see, I always believe that if you are well prepared beforehand for your legal passage, it becomes convenient for you to tackle the passage. Okay. Means do not leave any scope of surprise element for yourself. How will you ensure that? First thing is बी वेरी क्लियर विद ऑल द कॉन्सेप्ट्स. ठीक है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में हो सकता है वो ऑफर और अग्रीमेंट के बारे में पूछते, ऑफर प्रपोजल अग्रीमेंट में क्या क्या चीज़ें होती हैं, एलिमेंट्स ऑफ agreement, what is the difference between contract and agreement, yeah, legality and all of that. They may talk, the entire passage may talk about that. Now if you are well aware of it, when you read the passage it won't stress you out. Okay, so that will first of all save your time. It will increase the chances of getting the answer correct first. Second, be updated with your legal updates that we are discussing. Why am I discussing all these legal updates are because legal knowledge में तो काम आएगा ही. Election Commission, Constitution, delimitation, all of these always, they would always help you in your legal knowledge kind of questions. Apart from that, when you are aware of all the legal updates, okay, what stories are going behind, there are huge chances that such passage may contain any content with regard to the current development that is going on. Correct? So it will get easier for you to comprehend. अभी लद्दाख के बारे में अगर कुछ आ जाता है with regard to sixth schedule, now you will be able to comprehend it, right? Yes. Can you explain the qualifying dates part of voter registration thing again? Aditya Tej. Okay. Aditya. See, previously what happened, सपोज क्लैट का ले लेते हैं. ठीक है, यू आर अपियरिंग फॉर क्लैट. क्लैट में अभी तो कोई एज नहीं है, एज लिमिट, बट सपोज करो देयर वुड हैव बीन अ एज लिमिट दैट यू मस्ट बी 18 प्लस. बट 18 आपका बर्थडे कभी आ रहा होगा और 18th प्लस दे आर आस्किंग सपोज फॉर 1st of May. सो देयर इज ओनली वन रेफरेंस डेट जिस दिन आपको 18 का होना होगा, उसके बाद ही आप फॉर्म भर पाओगे. करेक्ट? Now that is what Election Commission is now saying. Basically the bill proposes. Now they are saying कि अगर voter ID बननी है तो there would be 4 qualifying dates. So that पहले क्या था, first आप 1st जनवरी को 18 हो रहे हो या नहीं. ठीक है, अब हमें सिर्फ 1st जनवरी से मतलब नहीं है. अब आप 1st जुलाई में भी हो रहे हो तो भी you can get your voter ID registered. ठीक है, फिर भी आपको voter ID इशू कर दिया जाएगा. So basically it talks about that. Is giving 40 minutes to legal excessive? Okay, 40 minutes चलता है, चलेगा. Depends actually. हाँ ठीक है, I think 40 minutes would be fine, but try reducing it to like 35 or something. I think that would be better. It may help you in tackling other sections in a better way. Okay. Recent judgments will be enough or all the landmark judgments are also important? Vandana, I think I discussed about it in our previous session, but never mind. See, of course, recent judgments are important from current affairs perspective, from current legal developments perspective. But when we talk about landmark judgments, I would suggest you to only stick to constitutional landmark judgments. Keshwananda, SR Bommai, Indira Gandhi, all of these judgments, they are the ones that are very important. ठीक है? Now, doesn't mean that you are going to neglect other sections landmark judgments. Why am I saying so? Torts हो गया, contract हो गया, criminal हो गया. There are also Sajjan saying Rylands versus Fletcher. ये सब you would get to know. Yeah. So but there are very few number of landmark judgments that you need to memorize. Okay, that you must be aware of when it comes to other parts of the legal section. Okay, mostly constitution में ही थोड़ा fight होता है to understand all the landmark judgments. Okay, so I would suggest दोनों करो, but know your boundary, know the extent कि कितना करना है. All right. Yes, any other question? No question. Okay, I think now students have got relieved, huh? After getting all your dates for your board examination back to back. Boards का भी मिल गया, CLAT का भी मिल गया, ALET का भी मिल गया. Now you're all very relaxed, huh? कि अब तो बाद में देखा जाएगा. Is that so? If it is that, so please don't do that. Okay. Yeah. If all your questions are done, in that case, I will end the session. Thank you. Source of judgment recent. Okay, Advocate Adil Hussain. Source of recent judgments, you can go through the legal updates that we upload in our aspiration first. Secondly, you can follow live law for that, just in case if you want a better, in a detailed version of the judgments. All right. I think that would be it. Thank you so much, everyone. I am ending the session. We'll see you in the next session. Until then, take care and please subscribe or maybe press that bell icon, whatever it is. All right. Why? Because so that when I come for the next session, at least you get a notification and you're able to join. You should not be late. All right. Then only I'll be able to take all your questions and will be able to answer. Right. So yes, take care, everybody. Keep your Josh high and prepare well. Stick to your plan, be consistent, and be disciplined. Thank you so much.